Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Midnight Coffee Roasting tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. My name's Eric Chavez McMinn, and have you ever been in a local coffee shop and eavesdropped on a conversation and thought, I would love to hear more from them? Well, this is exactly what that is. Like I said, my name's Eric Chavez McMinn, and this is Listening In. We're live at Midnight Coffee Roasting in Reno, Nevada, interviewing one of you from the audience. For production purposes, I actually played this person in chess and got my ass kicked.
With queen odds, I might add.
He said with queen odds, he might add. I got my ass whooped, dude. I played a real life game, and my chess.com level went down somehow with how bad he beat me up. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Midnight Coffee Roasting again for providing me a location. Is this cutting in and out?
It is.
Okay. You guys hear me good?
No.
All right. No? That's it? Hello. Okay. What is going on? Sorry about this. Okay.
You're good.
Maybe now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Midnight Coffee Roasting, again, for providing me a location to hold this all for you here in attendance and, of course, listening in online. They've got awesome drinks, food, and some beers on tap, which I enjoy. My go-to, which I actually have right here, is a Revision IPA. It's delicious. It's their basic IPA, and it's damn good. Revision's a local brewery here in Reno with great selection of beers, seltzers, stouts, and drinks for all. I'd lastly also like to thank my wife Isabella and her business Secondhand by Bella for helping out with the production side, and also to hopefully start vending some clothes here, get you guys fitted up, and yeah. Are you guys ready to start? Are you guys ready to meet your guest for tonight? Yeah, there we go. We got some noise. All right. Your name is Alex, and you told me not to try pronouncing your last name.
It's Weirauch, it's German, it's,
Weirauch? That did not look like what it was typed out. It was like an M and E, all right. What's your age and where are you from?
Cool, I'm 29, I'm from Hamburg, Germany, and some PSA at Houston Airport once tried to pronounce my last name, and it took me about 6 or 7 attempts to realize they meant me.
So you almost missed your flight because were they
Yes.
calling it over?
Yeah. No, I was late, and it was great. It was a transatlantic flight too. If I would have missed that, I would have been in deep shit.
Deep shit. Does that happen often?
No.
No.
Not anymore.
No, okay, not anymore.
I was much younger.
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, Germany, man. Tell us about your hometown. Tell us about that. How long were you living out there for?
Until I was about 19. It's a nice town. It's 2 million people, I think. It's the largest non-capital town in Europe, actually. And lots of partying. Gets super gloomy at night in the winter. I mean, we have 7 hours of daylight on the shortest day.
Wow.
17 on the longest, which is
Holy.
nice.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a nice way of growing up. I think there's a lot to be said about German culture that I'm probably not going to repeat to a public audience.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It was a fine upbringing.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know what else to say to that.
Ah, yeah, you're fine. What were some of your favorite things to do out in Germany?
So, say that again?
Reeperbahn.
Yeah, Reeperbahn. Our dirty mile, our red zone. Certainly once I turned 16, 17, lots of that, lots of partying. Especially in the summer, it gets really nice and warm. It's very humid, actually.
Oh, wow.
Quite East Coasty. And so, yeah, we'd be out until 4 or 5 a.m.
Wow.
Grew up playing football. I think you guys call it soccer, which I think is sacrilege.
I call it grown men just grabbing each other for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Played a lot of soccer for sure. Done some music. We've got a huge punk scene in Hamburg.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to some old friends.
There we go. If anybody from Hamburg out there in Germany is watching your buddy Alex out here, shout out to you guys.
Well, I'll start sharing links.
Yeah. When you be out, you said till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Is there anything like? Is there one specific night that you remember something absolutely crazy happening that? Or is there any wild stories from those nights out?
There are a lot of wild stories that I too don't want to.
That's fair. That's
replicate in a
fair.
public audience. I think the nights would always be very random. There would just be a lot of things happening. We'd usually start at a karaoke bar and then go over to some local dive bar, hang out, and see what happens. I think the memorable nights were those where we'd party until 3 a.m. and then we'd get a doner kebab, nice kebab, Middle Eastern, Turkish kind of thing. Definitely check it out if you haven't had one. But
You said it was kebab?
kebab, yeah,
Kebab?
it's like a gyro.
Huh.
It's really sick.
So you get those right after your whole night of parties?
Yeah, basically, while you're still kind of hammered, and then
That
you
makes
walk 3 miles home until you're halfway sober and go sleep. And I think just those nights, that entire vibe, I definitely miss sometimes, especially, in the U.S. It's not like I can sit in a park and, well, I probably can, but it's not quite as common to just meet up with a bunch of friends in a park, drink beer, and play cards or whatever until literally 4 a.m.
Wow.
Walk home. And
Yeah, no way.
it was a cool. I missed that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was like, no way. I even feel scared just walking down the block here.
Yeah,
So,
fair.
how is that? Like the aspect, like it seems like how you're describing it a lot. It's like safer, I guess. So like, what's the biggest differences between that you've noticed?
I think safety-wise, for sure, I think there's less areas in larger German cities that you're deliberately trying to avoid. I've noticed this here. I've lived in Ventura for 5 years,
Wow.
so about 40 miles north of LA or whatever. Of course, I knew where not to go, right?
Yeah.
That didn't really exist growing up, I don't think. And I just I felt very sheltered. I never felt unsafe, right? There was any interaction with strangers would usually be okay. There wouldn't be some, I'm getting a bad vibe from you. Of course I would occasionally, but it wouldn't be like fundamentally, I've got to get out of here.
Yeah. Like growing up, did you ever hear like the same thing of like, don't trust the guy in the white van, or like, don't take candy food? It was just like, just fucking go up to him, you get a weird vibe, just dip out or something.
Those were definitely some things that I didn't hear as much. Of course, my parents told me like, don't talk to strangers, don't get rides from
Oh
strangers.
yeah, the obvious stuff. Yeah.
I walked to elementary school at 6, 7 years old for a while, and that never stopped. My parents, I think, twice drove me to school when it was like a super snowy day.
Okay.
Otherwise, a bike or walk, and there'd never be a concern about safety like there is here, where I do get the vibe of like, if you let your kid walk to school, especially in a not so good neighborhood, you're basically an irresponsible parent, which seems a little excessive, and maybe I'm over exaggerating, but there's definitely something to be said in that regard.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I walk to school a whole bunch, and I probably the same thing. It just depends on like the area where you are. Like a lot of schools are safer, but I feel like it doesn't really matter if you trust them, you trust the people around you. I think that's all we really need, is just a lot of trust between us, a whole lot. You brought up your family a little bit. So what was your family like growing up? Like,
very cookie cutter American, actually.
Really?
Well, outside the fact that neither of my parents are American, I have 2 loving parents that are both still married. I think they're going on 35 years now.
Wow, hey,
I
congrats
have
to them.
a brother, thank you. I have a brother, he's 25, I think, something like that. And, yeah, we grew up pretty sheltered, pretty middle class. There was no one way or another. Only interesting piece to that, I think my mom is Russian. She grew up in Moscow, so I was raised bilingually, German and Russian. And
and I think it's cool I know Spanish. That's it. No, that is way cooler. Sorry to interrupt.
It's out there. Nah, you're good. Quite the useless skill now, I suppose. But,
There's a couple of jobs online. I've seen them, like,
for sure.
but
We definitely had a good time. I think growing up, very
awesome.
very stable, very sheltered, and yeah, they definitely gave that to us in our lives down the road, where we're still very supportive of each other, still very much have this core relationship. And
it's awesome.
yeah,
That's sweet. You said you only had the one brother?
yes.
How was your time growing up with a brother? Nice time to have a
I
sibling.
think it depends on whether you ask him or me.
Well, I'm
It was great. I think I definitely did some unintended emotional damage there for a minute. But
who else does?
yes. No, I really enjoyed having a brother for sure, and especially now as we're becoming adults. You know, we started a company together a couple of years ago, done some marketing, web development.
You guys still got that company going?
We kind of stopped doing that.
Oh, okay.
It was more of almost a hobby that got out of hand, where he was a lot into web design when he was younger, and he works as a web developer now.
Nice.
So, and it just seemed fitting at the time. But having a person that I can trust so blindly, that I can reach out to so blindly about anything, feels very good. I'm really, really grateful, I think, too, for my parents that, and they put so much value into us supporting each other, even when we're going through individual rough times or whatever. Being there for each other is incredible.
That's sweet. So your mom was from Russia, your dad's German.
Yes.
Correct? All right. Is there a piece of advice they gave you that really stuck out to you growing up? Either one of them?
We'll probably get into more of what happened in my life, but I'm not good with advice.
No worries.
I tend to do my own thing. I think the implicit advice they gave and still give is this idea of love always winning. The idea that no matter how scared you are, how hateful other people may be or whatever, that kindness and love are the things that let you sleep at night, and that winning in the American context of I'm better than you doesn't really matter all that much sometimes. I think that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
Cool.
My mom I think her biggest piece of advice was always trying to get me to do stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Like she would always just yell at me, like especially when we go to my doctor's appointments, I got like health issues, so she would be like, dude, you gotta remember all these things, you gotta remember these prescriptions, you gotta remember all this, because remember, it's just gonna be you. At the end of this life, it's just gonna be you.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, I'm 8, I have no idea what the hell is going on. Let's kind of get back into, so your name you almost missed your flight. Mm-hmm. So have you done a lot of traveling? Do you like traveling?
I do like traveling. I haven't traveled for the last 5-6 years, but before that I've been to a lot of European countries. I mean, I think it's almost obvious, it's just much smaller than here, right? So, anything from Spain over France, over the UK to former Yugoslavia, Montenegro, a bunch of times.
Dude, which is
Russia.
mind-blowing, because we go over here and we're like, yeah, I visited Connecticut. And that's not cool. Like, it's way different saying I went to Spain and all these.
It has other vibes, right? It has advantages. I think the road trips I've done in the United States will never be matched by any of my travels in Europe, just because they're different.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Even things like going to Dubai, super cool, super fun.
Wow.
But nothing beats seeing the sunset at Monument Valley after driving 12 hours. It's just
That's
such
fair.
a weird, free kind of. It very much encompasses that American spirit that drew me to come here in the first
That's
place.
fair.
I think.
It's like a different appreciation
Yes.
too. You're exhausted, but you're like, look at the beauty of the land that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
See that? When you were traveling, did you have a favorite place you traveled to?
There is one or two spots in the Tuscany that I really revisited a whole lot. I think those would be pretty far up there.
Was there any reason why? Was it like just how the land was?
I think
Monuments?
people, I haven't really talked about that a lot, but one of the things I don't appreciate about Germany is the culture, the way people interact with each other is very negative and very, feels very result driven in a way. And when I was younger, for sure, I didn't really care about results, and I still really don't that much. And so, being in Italy, especially 13, 14 years old or whatever, and seeing people in that area specifically taking a much more laid-back approach to life, a much more, how can I make the best out of today? How can I enjoy today? That was really impactful, and the scenery is gorgeous. Yeah, so those two things combined, really.
Yeah. I definitely think people should go out there, explore the world. It's life-changing. We went to Italy, and I can agree. A lot of those people are really chill, laid back. They're wondering, how can I, make this easier for people with a cigarette in my mouth? Like, everybody there is smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
I have asthma, and it made me smoke a cigarette. It wasn't too bad. The packages are scary too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice the package change, you get here and it's just like so welcoming. You're like, heck yeah, dude, this is so easy. Like they put the warning outside of like the 7-Eleven or something, so you don't really pay no mind. You're like, oh hell yeah, $6.50.
Yeah, out there is by now have pictures anywhere you buy. Fun to look at. Anyways,
No. Besides
don't smoke, kids.
Yeah, do not smoke. It's a bad idea. Unless you're in Italy, do it. No, I'm just kidding. Besides like almost missing your flight because they're mispronouncing your name, have you run into any other obstacles while traveling? Even if that's like the biggest thing for us was like the language barrier almost like.
Real obstacles while traveling? I don't think so.
No?
I mean, yeah, no.
Hey. And that's all right.
There was a dude in a bar in Louisiana who was really pissed off that I, as a foreigner, was in his bar, but
Wow.
I mean,
Louisiana. That kind of
yeah.
makes sense. Don't go to Louisiana, guys.
Yeah,
You guys
well,
hear that?
don't go to the swamps in Louisiana.
Yeah,
New
okay.
Orleans is nice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I do want to go out there.
You should.
Besides the obstacle, what's the most wild thing you've eaten? Have you?
Eaten?
Yeah. Is there anything that's been like so weird? Like some people, even if it's like caviar, or like a dead cricket or something. Like what?
I've eaten caviar.
You have? Okay. How's that?
Kind of underwhelming. There was a cool picture of me as a 3-year-old sitting in some like literally socialist apartment complex in Moscow, eating caviar by the spoon load out of
3 years
a big jar.
old. 3 years old, huh? All right.
Back then it was different.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't know if I had any crazy food experiences to speak of.
You didn't go somewhere and they're like, here's a frog. Open
Yeah,
the
I think I've eaten frog or certainly a snail or two.
Okay. Okay.
Live from the ground and actually prepared to be consumed. Yeah, well, I was a stupid kid.
Did your whole man versus wild phase?
Sure.
You ever eat
Let's
dirt?
call it that. Yeah, nothing too exciting there, I don't think.
I'm going to get into this a little bit because beforehand, in order to get Alex onto my podcast, actually, I had to really try and beat him in a game of chess. You're in the chess club here.
I am in the chess club in Reno. Shout out to my friends sitting over here still playing.
Yes, they're over here. Shout out to the Reno Chess Club. Please go play chess.
We meet Thursday nights at the Matthew Bridge Center. It's on Plum Lane. Please come. please play.
Yeah.
Great experience.
Absolutely, it works your brain like no other. I got into it on like chess.com, like online.
Cool.
So that's why like I have all the help to show me like where to go. So then when I was playing over there, I was like, I'm fucked. I'm screwed. Like I 100% knew that.
I definitely need your chess.com after.
Okay, we'll do it. Like I said, you already made my ranking go down by playing here. But I actually might stop by Thursdays. I want to do it a whole lot more. It's awesome. Shout out chess. Is there anything else that you do, or how long have you been in the Arena Chess Club actually?
Barely half a year now. I think I joined in August or so. I only moved back to Reno in January last year, and I didn't really play a whole lot of, like, I knew how to play chess. I think my grandpa taught me when I was really, really young, and then I played with family, friends, whatever. And then 2 years ago or so, I decided I'm gonna like see if I can actually get any good. I made a chess.com, started playing a lot.
This guy was playing me and somebody else at the same time and kicked my. Did he?
I won both games.
You won both games.
Yeah, and eventually I played a little bit at the UNR campus chess club, and shout out to those guys. I think they're really cool, just not quite my demographic,
That's
much
fair.
younger than me, and so I decided to see what else there is in Reno. I met these fellas, super welcoming, and started playing semi-competitively, I guess, at least at club level here.
Dude, that's sweet. I need to get back into it. I've lost so much skill. Like, dude, I swear if you caught me like 6 months ago, no, I'm just kidding. You still would have kicked my ass. Okay. What is something that someone who has never met you would be surprised to learn? I know we've learned a
cool
lot that you.
question.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the most off-putting thing I can tell you right now?
you got a list we can.
I mean, probably not something to brag about, but I haven't had a drink or drug in 6.5 years. And
Hey, 6.5 years sober.
yeah,
Come on.
that might be something, because I do tend to be a little flippy and out there, I guess. What else? I love playing piano.
Piano? How long have you been playing the piano for?
29, so 25 years.
25 years. Wow. And so you had a piano in your house growing up?
Yeah,
Or, okay.
my mom was a really good player, and I started having lessons when I was about 4 or 5. And
What's the most complex song that you can play?
The Revolutionary Etude by Frédéric Chopin.
Forever Into by Frederick Chopin.
Yeah.
I kind of have to look into that one. I don't know that one by the heart. Do you know Kendrick Lamar?
Cool.
Yeah, is there anything else? Like you got,
I still play my version of football, European football.
you do like leagues around town, or do you just kind of like for fun?
I play Sunday League. There's some pickup. We do have some indoor co-ed I play on, which is great fun. Not very
Nice.
serious, but
Yeah, the indoor stuff's just very
Yeah.
fast paced, very.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just getting a workout in. So I do that. Any other hobbies? I should be skiing more. I'm not. I went twice this season, I think, but
Oh man, what's your go-to mountain?
Rose.
You go to Rose? Hey, shout out Mount Rose. Anybody else? Snow? Yeah, there's somebody back there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. Rose is sick.
Can do.
Okay, what are you got 3 favorite movies right now?
3 favorite movies right now.
This moment, or do you just have a top 3? I want to ask top 3, but I'm always like, it's ever changing.
Yeah,
It's
I
always
think
good movies.
top 3 is valid. I really loved *Inglourious Bastards*. I haven't watched it in 2 years now, but that movie was crazy
It
good.
is so good.
Generally, I think Tarantino. I don't think he's underappreciated, but his movies are amazing,
So good.
no doubt.
A lot of feet shots. that, sadly, he can't calm down on, but that's all right. He's a genius.
Yeah. What else we got? I'm I'm trying to think. I'm not a huge movie buff, so this is definitely out of the left field. My wife and I have been watching a bunch of like C-class horror movies.
Okay. What is that entitled? Like, just
There is a Stephen King novella called In the Tall Grass, I think, and they made a movie out of it. It is utter garbage. If you ever waste 1.5 hours of your lifetime, you
Just
absolutely
watch
should
that.
watch that.
okay.
And that's kind of what we do, right? We sit down and scroll through the Netflixes of the world until we see something that might show promise, and 90% of
screw
the
it.
time it's awful.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
10% you get some hidden gem or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's most streaming services. They have their like top shows, and then it's
for
just
sure.
filled with whatever else they have to fill. Find something for everyone.
Armageddon was a $5,000 budget movie. It's on Amazon Prime. It's awful. Dude made 200 grand with it. It's great.
Wow.
Check it out. Good business.
Yeah, there we go. And there's that movie that just came out. It's called Better Man. Did you see that?
I did not.
It's a biopic about this guy from the UK called Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
They CGI him to make him look like a monkey. And they put like $100 million into it, and I think opening weekend he made like, was it like $1 million to $3 million?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even
He
know who the
had
hell.
two good songs.
Yeah, dude.
His boy band was trash.
You know what?
Anyways.
You know what's another movie that if you want to waste like an hour and a half of your time to watch, it's called Teeth. You ever seen Teeth?
Nope.
It's a terrible movie. It's about this girl that, I'm sorry for anybody that's listening, that is just like randomly just tunes in for this part. So it's a girl, she has this thing called vagina detenta, which is teeth down there. And she finally figures out how to use them and is like kind of going around and killing people. There's like a severed weenie on the ground and stuff.
I love that. I always wonder, like, the people that write those movies must be on excessive amounts of shrooms, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and something.
spacing out.
And sometimes it works out because that's how they made SpongeBob, right? They just got on something and all right. Well, that's movies, man. That's it. Was there any was there any like German flicks that you liked a whole lot? Like I know that's like maybe not a lot of people might be interested,
Yeah,
but I
that
like
seems
some
niche,
foreign
right?
films. Yeah, foreign films are great.
I think, I don't actually know. There's a funny movie called Kebab Connection, but you wouldn't, like, you have to, it's very culturally appropriate for Germany. I think it's hard to sell to a US audience. I'm not so sure I would know something off the bat where I'm like, this is it. But this also feels like the kind of situation where 30, 40, 50 minutes from now, I'll think, damn, I should have mentioned that movie. You know, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Did you actually kind of staying in the same topic for like visual media, like stuff, so, you know, there, like, was there, I know like a lot of countries put in like the English cartoons and just dub them over. I'm assuming you guys had that, but was there any like original cartoons that you had that you can like almost describe so we can kind of feel like?
Pretty sure Sesame Street is German, right?
That's one quick Google search real quick. I
Yeah.
mean, let's see.
I might be wildly wrong about that. We do have a cool cartoon characters that are very much authentically German. Shout out to Bernd das Brot.
Oh my gosh.
Is it?
Is that it? 1973 is Sesame Street German, and I'm assuming that just says.
Yeah, German children's television series primarily in Germany.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt this episode. I just wanted to give y'all a heads up that for this week's and next week's episode, we lost about half or more than half of the episode due to our equipment malfunctioning. We don't have the best equipment for this. We're learning. We're trying our hardest with this new live podcast. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge in it, so I'm trying to pick up on things and I'm realizing my mistakes and learning from them. So I appreciate you all for even taking the time out of your day to still come and listen to this. I'm sorry this wasn't the ending you were expecting or wasn't the week's episode you were expecting. So I apologize that this and next week's episode are a little bit shorter, but Hopefully by episode 4 or even 5, we're starting to get things nailed down a little bit more. I appreciate you all for listening in. And I also wanted to apologize to Alex if you're listening to this or watching this. I'm sorry I full talk didn't get all the way recorded. We had a great conversation. Alex is an amazing person and was just a great person to talk to and absolutely kicked my ass in chess. So, so thank you, Alex, again for being on. I'm very sorry about that again. Go to the Reno Chess Club. They meet every single Thursday. And thank you all for listening in. Thank you to Midnight Coffee Roasting. And thank you to Isabella Chavez McMinn. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much.